Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named B. Hughes titled G.Y.S.T, featuring DURAG B. And if we switch over to here, we have the track on YouTube, on the YouTube channel here, official video for G.Y.S.T by P. Hughes and DURAG B, shot and edited by J. Denton. Cool. We're going to listen through this track from start to finish. We're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
90s made.
Now we are not hesitating with this, are we? We are straight into it with the vocal chops, the synth, and the other bits related to the production of it. There's a lot of space in this composition for that. A lot of room to breathe. I like the fact that they're not trying to sort of over compress it. There's dynamic range to it.
Sick of waiting, so sick of that. But light shines from being patient. Gotta take your time. Find a grind that's stimulating. Be your own stimulator. And in due time, you can check your savings and you can see that outcome of hard work and dedication, discipline and meditation. New levels that you seek require elevation. Pray for guidance with these reparations. I swear you gotta wait.
Cool. Great first verse. Like, honestly, like, you've got someone telling you, yo, just find the grind that you're happy with and then look at your savings. Like, don't force yourself to go through something that you're not totally happy with, you know. Try and find an equilibrium and balance in your life. I think that's a great way to sort of open a verse, especially for a first impression. Because this is my first impression of B. Hughes. With this track G.Y.S.T. I like the fact with this track that it's got a really somber overall sort of sense of instrumentation behind it. You know, it's a really laid back sort of synthy kind of low end pad thing going on with the drums and the vocal chops again. It's a minimalist orchestration going on here that helps the vocals to stand out a little bit more.
Pray for it's yours, go for it. You know what they don't. Keep doing what they won't.
I like the use of repeaters as well. Like, there's some variations on it with like the radio filter that they have, but it just fills up that space, but it doesn't seem like too much at the same time. It's got a sort of a call and response sort of aesthetic to it.
Wait for it, pray for it.
Nice vocal harmony there as well at the end of the tail.
You know what they don't. Keep doing what they won't.
You know what they don't, keep doing what they won't. Exactly. It works well with the first verse, sort of saying, yo, you know, you've got a chance to basically find success. Just do whatever you need to in order to get there, because you know what they don't. It's so simple, yet it's so effective. I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate and appreciate this.
You gotta focus on time, my boy. Fall back to come up. God-given.
It's nice as well just to have that musical theme there with the get your shit together repetition there, that hook line for a G.Y.S.T to avoid any issues with the YouTube community guidelines there. It's great. You know, it's cool. I enjoy what I'm hearing from B. Hughes in terms of like this fact that then, you know, obviously this kind of music is vocal oriented, but at the same time they're allowing the music to speak for itself. They're not trying to overwhelm the listener. It's great.
Hard living, this is God-fearing, engineering. Inshallah, how I live it, never tripping. Better take a picture, fam. Remember how we did it, fam. Big B in my hand like the plan. And knowing who I am will separate me from the clan. And knowing how I hit her, make her wanna leave a man. Send a lift to get you. Who am I not to try to fuck again? I just said she gotta wait for it, pray for it.
You know, I like the development storyline that we're having here, a different angle to the musician, and I appreciate the fact that we've got that consistency with a musical motif and theme behind it. You don't really need to change the first verse, you know, too much with going into the second. Like, you can have that, if that main musical theme is good enough, you basically got yourself a banger from start to finish. And again, I think the neutrality of that musical theme, again, with the synth pads and the drums and everything like that, allows for a change of thematic direction. There, you know, you can change the story a little bit, provide a different angle without it being too strange for the listener. They're not trying to sort of niche themselves up too much.
Go for it, you know what they don't. doing what they want. Wait for it, pray for it.
Effortless vibrato on those vocal lines, dude. The guy's a really good singer, knows his range really well. And it's a very different texture to what we had from the rapping vocals. And in the verses, I like that contrast though. It works really well. Helps the different sections to stand out.
You know what they don't. Keep doing what they want. Wait for it, pray for it.
Okay, we got this repeated without the drums this time though. A little bit of change. That's cool.
You know what they don't. Keep doing what they want. I was 24 in Dallas.
Oh, see, I wasn't actually expecting a third verse here.
Going through it was really on my own. I had a chance, but I blew it. Thought money was on the phone, but I was wrong and she knew it. Trying to make her hit his music shit and I look stupid. But maybe it was timing, divine intervention, cause my stars been aligning. And why it took so long, we know it's not a lack of trying. 10 toes ready for whatever. That's why I'm made forever. I swear I had to wait for it.
It's nice for the vocalist to be showing a little bit of vulnerability here. You know, we're not trying to pretend that we're perfect and flawless, the person that everyone should look up to. We're showing that we didn't have it figured out initially, you know. We had to go through some stuff, lose people in our life in order to realize, hey, you know, we need to do things differently. And I like that the third verse is showing that other side of things, you know. It makes the story more well-rounded and makes the people involved in it more likable or more relatable, you know what I mean? There's some very, very, very light little bits of high-end piano or something like that coming in with the keys, and I like the that little bit of clarity up in the upper range. Really sounds pretty. I also like the G.Y.S.T parts, how they're panned to the extreme left and right of the stereo field. They allow the clean singer to have a lot more presence in the mix, even while that's going on.
It's yours, go for it. You know what they don't.
Fill the drums in this part, that's cool. Oh, we're having another time? A bit extra vocal modulation in there for the vocal chops.
You know what they don't. Keep doing what they want.
That's a fun little bit of I'm not really sure, is that a vocoder or something like that? Yeah, I like that. I think it's a fun way to end the track, you know. They didn't just finish with that hook line. They had that, I can't do it. I'm not a singer. I'm not going to try and do that. But it's just good fun. Good fun. We have really competent musicians, because this is the conclusion. We have really competent musicians involved in this track, and I don't really have a lot of complaints about it. I think it's a really well-written song. Before we go into it, though, just while I remember, apparently they have the B. Hughes show on their YouTube channel. I'm wondering, I'm not entirely sure what that is personally. It might be like a podcast or something like that. But either way, I hear it's good, so feel free to go check that out. Anyways, you know, for the conclusion, I like the story that was involved here. I like the story that was involved with the B. Hughes. You know, talking again about like not trying to rush your future too much, trying to sort of sprint towards your goals, because you'll end up making mistakes, potentially alienating people. It can be a bit of a rough ride. So I'm really glad that we've got that sense of humility and coming through, a show of wisdom, trying to help people to avoid the same mistakes that they did, as shown in like the third verse. You know, finding that faith, you know, they've God-fearing engineering or something like that. Having faith in a higher power to sort of help you through it. Having faith in yourself to kind of get there and eventually reach your dreams, but not without torching the soil behind you or in front of you. The story's great. I think a lot of people will appreciate what they're trying to do here. It's something that probably a lot of people can probably learn from, especially with a lot of people just really keen to get from point A to B as quickly as possible nowadays. It can take a while, and part of the importance of the journey is enjoying it. We had two main vocal sections here. We had the rapping vocals in the verse, and the clean ones, and the set and the hooks, and they contrasted well with each other. The rapping parts came through really nice and cleanly. We weren't trying to rush through the words or the pronunciations and stuff. We weren't trying to do a million syllables a second. I think that helped the listener to hear the story more clearly, not to miss a single word. And it helps with the storytelling, but also it's just there's a calm confidence and almost a swagger to it that I really appreciate. The clean vocals and the hook, as I mentioned, I'm really happy with the vocal technique shown there. It's not easy to get those legato and vibrato passages sounding as effortless as they did, but they managed to do that absolutely well. And I think that both musicians sounded authentic and genuine in their performances, like they were literally going through what they were talking about and they really believed in the messages that they were putting forward. So I think that's great. It's fantastic. Got no complaints about the vocals at all. Very good. The structure of the song was a traditional sort of like verse, chorus kind of thing, with like an interlude or a middle eight before the final outro with the hook line repeated a lot. And it was a catchy hook line, don't get me wrong. The main melody, that was fantastic. And you had different bits of vocal modulation and vocal chops added in, and some differences with the instrumental section throughout those parts to kind of keep it sounding fresh. I don't think we could have done it more than that, so I'm glad that they stopped it just before that 4-minute mark. It's a good choice. It was good enough as it was. And then finally, you know, not finally actually, because you got the instrumental section again with like the drums, the kick, the bass, and the synth pads down the bottom and low end, and some occasional bits of bright things with the vocal chops. We didn't have everything all the time. We knew to take stuff back, and we had a fairly somber, kind of cool, calm, collected, chill vibe to it, which allowed for us again to talk about a variety of different topics. It worked really well. It was very malleable, and I don't think there was a point where the musicality of it was lost. The performances on the different instruments were great. I like the increase of the build-up of the kicks in that final part of the chorus, and the vocal harmonies just accentuated everything else really well. It was really well considered and arranged. And then finally we have the production, the recording, mix, and mastering. That sounds like something released like from a well-to-do independent label. I'm really happy with how commercially viable the sound of it is. It sounds like it was professionally recorded, mixed, and produced. The EQing, stereo panning, the different effects change on the vocals and the other parts of the mix, along with the limiting compression, were sensational. I've got no complaints about it. It was nice and loud without pumping. It's what you need in this day and age, and able to get somewhere, to be able to get somewhere, should I say. And yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And Jay Denton visuals here. But yeah, basically that is my review of B. HUGHES G.Y.S.T featuring DURAG B. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show B. HUGHES and DURAG B some love via the various social medias and YouTube page. I think they're also on Twitter and Instagram. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.